that the L402 protocol is critical to this ecosystem because it involves authentication, verification in this payments mechanism. Critically important given how much can go wrong.
Natalie Brunell recently talked to famous financial and crypto journalist Max Keiser about El Salvador's decision to accept Bitcoin as legal currency. At the just-ended Bitcoin conference, Max Keiser talked about the changes happening in the country, the effects of Bitcoin adoption around the world, and what Donald Trump said at the 2024 Bitcoin conference. Max Keiser talked about how El Salvador's President Bukele is becoming better known around the world since the country legalized Bitcoin. Because it took Bitcoin, he called El Salvador a shining city on a hill and a beacon of freedom. Keiser doesn't like Trump because the former president said bad things about President Nayib Bukele of El Salvador, who is a big supporter of Bitcoin and the first leader of a government to make the cryptocurrency legal cash. Trump said at the GOP conference that Bai wasn't worth our time and that he was sending criminals to the U.S. Many Bitcoin supporters, including Keiser, were surprised when Trump said bad things about Bai. They had thought that Trump's newfound support for Bitcoin would help them connect. You can watch clips from the interview to learn more about what Max Keiser and Natalie Brunell talked about. If you want to see more videos like this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post alerts. Have fun with the video.
What's going on in AI is amazing. We have been very aggressive in our expectations, and yet we're seeing, and Mark Zuckerberg this week talked about open source models and how this might accelerate many of the trends that AI has already triggered. And so I think what we're going to see is a couple of things. One, and we've learned this from the Lightning Network and some of the developers working on it, in Africa. I don't know if you know Roast Beef, but he's one of them. We did a brainstorm. We do a Bitcoin brainstorm every month in conjunction with Bitcoin Park. And he was on one of the first of them. So look that up. It's every time I am with the developers or the miners or some part of the Bitcoin ecosystem, my confidence in what is about to happen here increases. Well, Roast Beef, at one of the first two of those brainstorms, sitting in Africa, was saying, this is transforming lives in Africa. It is going to redefine the division of labor. We think we understand the gig economy. Think micro-gig economy, and think global labor force and piecemealing out these tasks. So he says this is transforming people's lives in Africa. And so I think the payments part of this is critical.
Yes.
And I also think the second part, so division of labor and paying for those micro giga jobs,
yes,
is one example. And then there's the machine to machine. Basically, it's called agentic AI. I will basically direct an LLM to create a marketing program for me and my new company, including a website, a marketing program, articles, promotional materials, and so forth. And the agentic AI will do that from beginning to end when we finally get there. And we're getting there faster than I thought we were going to get there. So how does this happen? How do we pay all of the various entities involved? Lightning Network, Bitcoin payments ecosystem. So I guess just listening to Alyse, who's her business, her venture fund is 100% focused on the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can see the depth of knowledge, and I know a lot of people are just thinking, okay, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be? One of the reasons Bitcoin's price will continue to go up is because of the opportunities that Layer 2 Lightning networks and the convergence with AI is going to create. It's going to be phenomenal.
Max Kaiser praises El Salvador for legalizing Bitcoin as an example of freedom and urges President Trump to back the cryptocurrency. Kaiser sees Bitcoin as essential for nations to thrive in a changing global environment and compares its use to a global hash. Countries fighting to be the most powerful. Kaiser thinks that Bitcoin could eventually replace nation-states and central banks with decentralized government. He looks at how Bitcoin was used by President Boye in El Salvador as an example and says that Bitcoin is like a magic mirror that shows what a person is really like. Kaiser stresses how important it is to really use Bitcoin and has plans to open a Bitcoin bank where people can borrow money against their crypto holdings. Let's watch more clips from the talk to learn more from Max Kaiser.
When Elon Musk, Tesla, put Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet, he faced a wall of resistance and criticism having to do with the environment. And so we, along with Block, held a half-day seminar featuring Elon and Jack Dorsey, Steve Lee, for those of you who know him. And we were trying to disabuse them of this notion, the critics, that this is environmentally damaging. I'm going to back up just a little bit and say, I think that we're beginning to hear more common sense generally when it comes to that topic. To grow, we need energy. Technology, progress takes energy. Now, maybe we can do it more efficiently, and we are, and over time, of course. But energy necessarily grows as the economy progresses. And if we're right, and the economy and the growth rate of the economy is going to accelerate because of the massive innovation that's taking place out there, we're going to need even more energy. So that's the first thing. But during the seminar, we were able to illustrate that Bitcoin mining in a utility ecosystem and other energy ecosystems is actually going to help us overbuild renewable energy, solar and wind. Why? Well, as you're putting in this renewable energy ecosystem, you're going to have utilities, going to have storage unit. And in sunny Florida, where I live now, the storage will fill up very quickly, and then it'll just be wasted unless it's put to some good use. Bitcoin mining is that use. And what does it do for the utility ecosystem? Okay, mining Bitcoin means you get Bitcoin. And if you're really trying to build out your renewable infrastructure and accelerate it, Bitcoin actually will be an enabler of that. And then, of course, the second one, we saw this with Exxon. I was so surprised to see them putting Bitcoin mining machines into natural gas fields to take instead of flaring gas and even worse, venting it, just using it to mine Bitcoin. That's Exxon. So pretty big buy-in here and pretty big proof points.
In the meantime, recent changes in Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs show how investor opinion and market dynamics are changing. U.S.-listed spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds lost $18 million on Tuesday, breaking a 4-day streak in which $124 million came into the funds. This change happened after Bitcoin prices dropped after rising to over $69,000 last week in anticipation of Donald Trump's speech at the Bitcoin 2024 conference. Trump's speech, which included plans to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler and propose a strategic Bitcoin reserve, initially pushed prices up, but on Monday they dropped another 5% because the U.S. Marshal Service moved $2 billion worth of Bitcoin to new wallets. Causing worry about a possible sale on the other hand, Ethereum ETFs saw a small rebound with net inflows of $33 million, which was only the second time this had happened since they started trading on July 23. Despite this, Ether ETFs have seen large total net outflows of over $400 million. Shades of gray, the company has lost a total of $1.84 billion, but BlackRock's Etha has brought in $618 million, making it stand out. Seeing ahead, traders are being careful because they think that the Bitcoin market will be volatile because of upcoming U.S. tech earnings and other big economic events. Keats Capital pointed out that important events like the FOMC meeting led to big tech profits from companies like Apple, Amazon, Meta, and unemployment figures are likely to have an effect on how much Bitcoin costs. As we come to a close, the firm suggests keeping a range trading view for Bitcoin in the face of these uncertainties. What do you think about this interview? Could the U.S. follow in Salvador's footsteps? What do you think the effects of Bitcoin being used all over the world would be? Please leave your ideas in the comments below, share this video, and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.